And good evening, everybody. How's everything going? How is everybody doing? Um, it is once again Monday evening. Uh, had to set up quite a few things on the back end today, hence the reason for the late reminder send out. But it is good to see all y'all in here already. Time to lock in indeed. Um, so today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I have a slightly different setup going on. And the reason for that is because I'm going to be starting a new segment for the start of our streams on Monday. And that is going to be the news in retro gaming. Um, so, hence the reason for the formal attire here. As your news anchor, Low Poly Gaming, I'd like to discuss um, different things going on in regards to new releases of retro styled games, as well as new releases of games for older hardware, which, as you guys have all know from watching my videos, I've been getting very much into lately. So I would like to talk a little bit more on that at the beginning of my Monday evening streams. So, without further ado, um, let's get right into our starting segment for tonight's stream. And for that, we're going to head over to here. I'll see you on the news feed. All right, so now that we're in the news feed here, this is kind of going to be our setup. Just as a disclaimer, I don't have any affiliation or connection to the companies behind the development of these games, nor do I have any affiliation or connection to the websites that are hosting these games for download and purchase. As of right now, I believe of the Steam games I'm going to cover, only one currently has an available demo, and that's the one that is available on screen now. And that is Necrophane, which will be the first game that we'll be discussing today. Um, I just saw a little bit of content coverage on this game earlier today, and so I wanted to talk about it and kind of see the full game trailer with you, the viewers, for the first time here. And then I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about um, what I'm excited for and what I think about it. So hopefully we have desktop audio on here. Go ahead and start this. Oh wow. So right off the bat, I want to just zoom in on the web page itself here so we can get a closer look. But right off the bat, I'm noticing, I mean, obviously this was picked for our news coverage for today because of the low poly graphics. But also, I really like the fact that they decided to go with the 2D sprites amid 3D background. Very reminiscent of the PS1. Um, Makes me think immediately of Shadow Tower, or even of Daggerfall, which we've covered on the channel before. Absolute cinema indeed. Yeah, they've done a really great job with this trailer. Really great job. Wow. Okay, yeah. So first impressions on that trailer really looks very, very fun. Steam's going to go through some of the gameplay screenshots here that they have. Um, Again, very reminiscent of the Kingsfield series and of Shadow Tower and Daggerfall as well. I really like the uh, menu style that they decided to go with. It's kind of like a mix between the Kingsfield, um, Shadow Tower, and Dark Souls menu style, which makes sense as those games were made by From Software, so by the same company. And I like that they've kind of carried over that style into this game. The music is sounds awesome. I really like the music that they chose. I hope that they continue to choose additional similar tracks for the rest of the game. Um, really like the music that they chose for the trailer. Definitely very cool first look at this game. Um, this game does have a demo available for download, so I think at some point I will probably do a quick stream of that just to kind of see what the gameplay is like and actually play the game. And as a matter of fact, it might be a good idea to do that during more of like an offshoot stream on a Sunday or a Tuesday. But we'll see. A little bit about the developer here. Looks like this is the only thing that they've made so far, so brand new developer. That's great. You can support them on, it looks like Kickstarter, and you can wishlist the game on Steam based on that trailer, it looks like. Um, but yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. Really excited for that to be fully developed here. And the trailer's going to try to start again. Let's stop that. There we go. Okay. Um, Next game that I wanted to talk about that I saw some coverage on today as well was Lucid Blocks, another low poly game, um, which is a new game that's supposed to be coming out. And oh, so it actually has released. So this is not just demo version. This game has actually released already. I guess the coverage that I was seeing was somewhat old. However, oh yeah, release date March 13th of this year. Still new in 2026. Um, but some of the coverage that I saw in this game looked very cool, and so I did kind of want to share that with you guys. So let's watch the trailer. Very cool. Very, very cool. So if we click through some of these gameplay screenshots here, I definitely noticed a theme. Seems to be focused on a lot of the different hand gestures, things related to the different hand gestures that the hands are doing in the gameplay. I think that that's really interesting. I like how it kind of has a Minecraft-esque setup um, with the inventory, and it looks like the hand is holding a block in this scene here. They have shown in the gameplay footage, which is pretty cool. So yeah, another game that looks really interesting, kind of a more um, unique title that I think is definitely worth checking out. Has very positive reviews so far. So, and developer Lucy B. Locks. Cool. And then here's a game that's supposed to be coming out, planned release date October 27th, 2026, Rock Band Simulator. Now, I've seen several videos across social media that um, do different, like, have different funny bits in that are very stylistically similar to this game, or maybe they've occurred within this game. Either way, um, gotten a lot of laughs out of the videos that are made in a very similar style to this. And so I'm really excited to see um, what it actually looks like when it releases. I'm definitely going to be purchasing this game and playing it on stream for sure, because I'm really excited to see how this plays out. But first-person rock band life sim where you explore a gritty 1990s neighborhood, play rhythm-based concerts, get into fights, make bad decisions, and somehow keep your band together. Very interesting concept. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what this looks like. So let's check out the trailer together. Very cool. Again, this is another just kind of like low polygon graphic style game with mixed with 2D pixelated graphics as well. So kind of sticking with a similar theme in terms of style, retro style games that are being released new in 2026 is kind of going to be the thing that we'll cover in this segment. Additionally, I did have one more thing that I wanted to talk about, and that was, again, games that are being released new in this year, but for older systems as well. And one website I kind of wanted to talk about in regards to that specifically is Incubate Games. Again, just to reiterate, I'm not affiliated or connected to any of the websites that these games are hosted on, being sold on, or listed on, and I'm not in affiliation with any of the organizations developing the games at all as well. I'm just looking to talk about these games and kind of bring them into light. I feel like they don't get a ton of coverage in terms of getting them out there. So for those of you who enjoy retro games or retro style games, this is kind of bringing those games into the spotlight a little bit, talking about new releases to kind of get your gaming fix in 2026 here. So this is Incubate Games website. I think I've showed it briefly on stream before when I talked about a game that I recently pre-ordered on this website, and that is the new Dracula Dark Reign game for the Game Boy Color, which I will be playing on stream once it arrives on the mod Retrochromatic. But they do have other titles available that are playable on the original Game Boy and Game Boy Color. They include Infinity. This is a game which has been highly anticipated. 2 decades in the making. Started development in 1999 to 2001, and in which the development was stopped due to it being so late in the Game Boy Color's life cycle, switching over into the Game Boy Advance, and so the development was picked back up later in 2020 2021, yeah, according to this info about the game here. Development was picked back up in 2021 when they launched the Kickstarter campaign to revive the project. So this is definitely a highly anticipated game as well. Once again, available on Incubate Games. They've got other titles as well, that Dragon's Lair, The Legend, This was, I think there was an original arcade cabinet of Dragon's Lair, um, where you would make decisions throughout the game, and then there would be a video that would play out, like a full motion video that would play out in response to your decision. Um, and so this is kind of a revisitation to that game and story. And then they've also got Dragon Hymn, which is currently unavailable through Incubate Games website, but there are several others that are still available and that you can purchase through this website. But again, the focus here is to talk about the fact that this is a website and a company that is releasing new games for older hardware. These would be compatible on the systems that they're dedicated towards, such as Game Boy Color, indicated by GBC, or Game Boy Advance, indicated by GBA. There are other websites like Incubate Games. I know at some of the retro game stores that I've been to recently, there have been releases in terms of reproduction carts for new games where someone has programmed a game and released it on a reproduction cart, um, available at retro game stores that I've seen for NES, Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1 even. So those wouldn't necessarily be repro carts, but definitely burned onto new discs. And yeah, so definitely worth checking it out. And again, I think this is something that I'm going to want to try to do for next week as well. Just start off the stream talking about a little bit of some news in the retro gaming space in terms of, again, new games that are released in a retro style and new games that are being released for older hardware. So I hope you enjoyed that news segment.